On a freezing evening in Chicago, Sarah stood in a crowded grocery store, clutching a carton of milk. Her hands trembled slightly as she approached the counter. Her 5-year-old daughter, Lily, stood beside her, quietly holding an empty cup, unaware of the storm building inside her mother's heart. The cashier scanned the milk and asked for payment. Sarah inserted her card, holding her breath. A sharp beep broke the silence. "Declined," the machine displayed. Her face flushed with embarrassment as a few people in line began to glance impatiently at her situation. "I'm sorry," Sarah whispered, her voice barely audible. She tried again, hoping it was just a mistake. The second attempt failed too. The weight of her struggles pressed heavily on her chest, making it hard to breathe normally. Lily looked up at her mother with innocent eyes. "Mom, it's okay. I'm not that thirsty," she said softly, trying to comfort her. Her words, though sweet, pierced Sarah's heart even deeper than the embarrassment she felt moments before. The cashier sighed and reached for the milk. "I'll have to take this back," he said, not unkindly but without emotion. Sarah nodded, unable to speak, and gently guided Lily away from the counter, her dignity feeling shattered in front of strangers. Across the store, a man in a tailored suit had been watching quietly. Daniel Carter, a self-made millionaire, had come in for a quick purchase, but what he witnessed made him pause. The scene stirred memories he had tried to bury for years. He remembered his own childhood, his mother standing in a similar line, facing the same humiliation, that same helpless look in her eyes. Daniel clenched his jaw slightly, realizing that nothing had changed for families like Sarah's, despite all his success. As Sarah and Lily walked toward the exit, their pace slow and heavy, Daniel felt a strong urge to act. It wasn't pity, it was something deeper, a sense of responsibility perhaps, or a quiet promise he had once made to himself long ago. He stepped forward, his polished shoes echoing softly on the floor. "Excuse me," he called out, his voice calm but firm. Sarah stopped, turning around with confusion and hesitation written across her face, unsure why a stranger was approaching her. Daniel offered a gentle smile, trying to ease her discomfort. "You don't have to leave like this," he said kindly. Lily's eyes lit up with a spark of hope, while Sarah stood frozen, torn between pride and the desperate need to provide for her child. Sarah stood still, her fingers tightening around Lily's small hand as she looked at Daniel. Pride told her to refuse, to walk away with whatever dignity she had left. But Lily's hopeful eyes made that decision harder than she ever imagined. Daniel noticed her hesitation and spoke softly. "It's okay, no strings attached. Please, let me help." His calm tone carried sincerity, not pity. Slowly Sarah nodded, her eyes filling with tears she could no longer hold back. He turned back toward the store and picked up the carton of milk. Then, without hesitation, he grabbed a shopping cart and began filling it. Bread, fruits, vegetables, cereal, and other essentials. Sarah watched in disbelief, unable to process what was happening. "Sir, this is too much," she said, her voice shaking. "I can't accept all this." Daniel paused and looked at her with understanding. "You're not taking it for yourself," he replied gently. "You're taking it for your daughter. That's more than enough reason." Lily smiled brightly, clutching the milk as if it were a treasure. For the first time that evening, hope replaced the heaviness in the air. Sarah wiped her tears, still overwhelmed, but something inside her began to feel lighter. At the checkout, Daniel paid without a second thought. As the cashier handed over the bags, the same place that held embarrassment moments ago now felt different, almost warm. Sarah held the bags carefully, as if they carried more than just groceries. Outside the store, the cold wind brushed against them, but it didn't feel as harsh anymore. Sarah turned to Daniel. "I don't even know how to thank you," she said. Her voice carried both gratitude and disbelief at the kindness of a stranger. Daniel reached into his pocket and handed her a business card. "You don't have to thank me," he said, "but if you're looking for work, come see me. I think you deserve a real opportunity, not just a one-time help." Weeks later, Sarah stood in a small office, nervously beginning her first day at Daniel's company. It wasn't easy, but it was a start. She worked hard, determined to change her life. Slowly, confidence replaced the fear that once defined her days. Lily never had to go without again, and Daniel, watching from a distance, realized something important. Helping Sarah hadn't just changed her life, it had healed a part of his own past, proving that true wealth is measured by kindness, not money.